20 Worst Health Code Violations, according to Reddit. Number 20. Not me, my cousin. She was a health inspector for the city of Melbourne, Australia many years ago. Her advice? Never eat at Chinatown. Dead fish floating in the tanks of seafood restaurants with barely alive fish in the same tank. Slime and mold in said tanks, rusty surfaces used as chopping boards, and mold covering wooden chopping boards. Ooh. Raw meat prepared together with raw vegetables. And the lady washing the dishes at the cash register was the same lady that cleaned the toilets and made the dumplings. She never washed her hands. It doesn't matter how much you pay, whether you spent $200 on your meal or $20. They are all as filthy as each other. The most expensive and well-known were actually the worst offenders. Cockroaches. Cockroaches everywhere. There is no such thing as an expiry date. Sauces, mask, everything. There's a saying here, though, that many people are aware of. The nastier the place, the better dumplings taste.
That's cute.
Best dumplings I ever ate, this is a reply, says, were in a relatively poor area of Shanghai with a barely passing health inspection grade on the wall. Full meal cost 10 yuan, less than $2 US. That's enough.
Wait, are all their prices in Chinese currency first, or
what?
It wasn't a Chinese restaurant, my bad.
It was a well, okay, let's go. Okay. Number 19. Not a health inspector. Oh my god, this whole thread's gonna be this. But my mom told me this story some time ago. When she was in her late 20s, she had started working as a waitress for the restaurant in this big fancy hotel. Something tells me this shit is getting cut off, the likes of which I will never believe. And I knew it was. I think the only thing I can do is probably diminish the zoom. I mean, that's good, but I liked it bigger. As many of the ladies will probably agree. Forgive me while I find a balance so that this is something that will work. It's funny, okay, it's just, it's either too big or not big enough. Fuck me, right? What is wrong with you? Kyle wrestling with his damn. Alright, this is gonna have to do. You guys are gonna have to suck it. That's a little small though. Oh boy. This is good. This is great. Feeling good, feeling great. Feeling great, feeling good. How are you? How are you guys doing today? Not a health inspector, but my mom told me this story some time ago. When she was in her early 20s, she had started working as a waitress for the restaurant in this big fancy hotel. Just a few days after she started working there, the hotel was hosting some big event. So there was a ton of super rich people staying there, and thus the restaurant was super busy. So my mom goes into the kitchen at one point and sees that one of the chefs is clearly sick. He's coughing and hacking and constantly wiping his runny nose on a handkerchief right as he's making the food. So my mom goes to her boss and says, "Hey, this chef is sick. He can't be working right now. He's going to make everyone sick." Her boss tells her that the guy said he was fine and not to worry about it. So my mom goes to the sick guy and tells him that he has to leave to prevent the food from being contaminated. He tells her that he tried to call in sick, but the boss told him that they were going to be too busy and they needed him. Damn text messages. And if he didn't show up for work, he'd be fired. So my mom goes back to the boss and he admits that yeah, he knew the guy was really sick, but he didn't care if everyone else got sick as long as they got through the event. My mom tells her boss that it is wrong and that he needs to send the guy home, take back everyone's food, refund their money, throw out all the food that they made that had been contaminated, and close the place down to clean up. He simply laughs at her and tells her she's fired. So she went and did the logical thing. She walked out into the dining room, stood up on the top of the table, and shouted to everyone at the event that the boss forced a sick man to work today and that all of their food was probably contaminated. There was practically a riot. Everyone crowded around and screamed at the boss, demanding their money back. In the end, the restaurant was temporarily closed. Everyone got their money back. The boss of the restaurant was fired by the owner of the hotel, and my mom got to keep her job. Man, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. That lady really handled that situation perfectly. Most people would just be like, all right, man, and just go about their work, keep their head down, you know what I'm talking about? But she really made it happen. If it was me now, you know what I'm talking about, and I wanted to be your mom, if I wanted to be your mom, I would go back there with my camera and just get footage of this dude just all like, you know what I'm talking about, and going, hey, man, you should really not do this, man. And he'd be all like, no, man, I got to do what the boss told me to do it. And then I go to the boss and I'd be like, boss, you know this man's sick? And he's all like, yeah, I don't care if he's sick. Got to get through that event. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, well, I got it all on film. And unless you want the monkeys, you better have your husband suck my cock, because I'm assuming the boss is gay. You know what I'm talking about? That's really weird. And the mom is a mom in that, you know, story. So how would she have a cock?
The mom is also you.
I'm the mom. Who is this texting? Stop. Number 18.
Wait, I was really hoping this would end in some kind of promotion for her.
Why a promotion? She got to keep her job, so that's good enough.
I suppose.
She need to keep her head down. Number 18, I'm curious, how bad does something have to get to get a 4% health inspection rating? A local restaurant got shut down because of such a rating. Somebody in the responses say that the article explains a bit: moldy food, spoiled food, rodent infestation, lack of basic sanitation practices. Intriguing. Somebody else says, I've worked at a place that has gotten 100% on multiple occasions. Congratulations. This sounds like the opposite of what we were asking for. The inspectors are usually the same few people in smaller areas and get to know the people in the restaurants. If you have a good reputation, they come in and check the basics, give you a couple of soft infractions, and move on. If you have something that is just a major violation, they will start to, rightfully so, nitpick everything. Well, you know, there you go. If you give them nothing to look at, then they ain't gonna look too hard. But when you got something for them to look at, they're gonna be like, man, we might as well check this whole damn place. Number 17. I wish my wife was a Redditor. She would own this thread. Okay. Here are a couple I remember from her days as a restaurant inspector for the state health department. A complaint from a grocery store that the Chinese restaurant next door was raiding their dumpster each night and taking all the produce they could find. Number 2, walking into another Chinese restaurant and seeing pigeons in a cage in the back room. You know what them pigeons was going to become?
Well, they could have just been pets.
Very, very spicy chicken for you.
No, it's pigeon.
Yeah, they're going to be, you know, chicken, pigeon. What's the difference? What's the difference? Just regular city pigeons asking, you're not serving these to customers, are you? And being told, no, those are just for us. A bing bong, you like the long pigeon. We call pigeon long chicken where I come from. I don't mean to disparage Chinese people by citing 2 incidents about Chinese restaurants, but the truth is that many Chinese people come to the U.S. on a shoestring budget and cut corners as much as they can. Plus, the standards of healthy food service are often very strange to them. Telling someone that they can't cut the lettuce for the salad bar with the same knife that they use to cut a raw chicken is like telling them that they have to stand on their head before cooking something. They just don't get it. They always did it this way back home. Your body get used to fighting off bacteria you'll go up with. I'm sorry. That's really, come on, Kyle. Ooh, if I have any Chinese subscribers, I'd love to know. I should be like, you know, everybody should be clicking that unsubscribe button eventually. You know? What's your trigger? People from the other side of the planet have bodies that can handle bacteria we aren't used to in the Midwest. So, but that's a very hard point to get across. Here's one more from another side of the economic spectrum. I have a friend who plays in a band which has some natural recognition. I won't say any more, but they've had a few top 10 hits. Suck a fuck, bitch. Who gives a fuck? Pertinent information. He told me once that his band was booked to play a very expensive corporate New Year's party for a very rich corporation. The party took place at a very swanky hotel in a big city. Tell us more, nigga. He and the band had to load in through the hotel restaurant. Unfortunately, the sewers had backed up and the entire kitchen of this swanky hotel restaurant was ankle deep in raw sewage. Started making trouble in my neighborhood. But there was no way the hotel manager was going to go out into the party room and explain to a host of $1,000 a plate dinner. No, and explain to a host of $1,000 a plate diners that the kitchen was closed on New Year's Eve. So the kitchen staff kept cooking and the waiters kept serving. They put on rubber boots before entering the sewer/kitchen to grab the next plate. The moral of the story is the food service is all about the money first. Understandable, because there's no money, there's no food service. If there's no money, there's no food service. But you all are just as likely to get food poisoning at the most expensive restaurant in town as you are at the same local hole in the wall. Sometimes more so, because there's more money at stake. A bing bong. Some guy says, what happened, Shrimps?
I never had food poisoning from the food trucks I've eaten at in Mexico. So I guess that's one thing.
Well, you do have a tolerance for it, considering you're naturally Mexican. See, if I just went down there and scooped up a little bit of the water and was like, I'd be in the bathroom for,
I never drank the water there. They always tell you not to drink the water, even if you're a local.
A local. I'm Chinese. I make joke. Look, I'm Chinese and I gotta say, health regulations are literally a joke in China. Hey, make joke. Hey, make joke. And everything is about maximizing profits. Also, people do eat pigeons. You've probably eaten a pigeon before if you went to some kind of Chinese restaurant and you thought it was chicken. Man, there's some good chicken, you thought, as you ate that pigeon. Malcolm. Can you imagine if I had a subscriber named Malcolm and he was like...
It's called street poultry, Kyle.
Street poultry, long chicken. It's actually pretty good, but I worry about sanitation. I had it in China. You eating rats with rings going, this is pretty good, but is it sanitary? Number 16. Not a health inspector, but my mom used to work at this restaurant where the owner just did not give a shit. He don't fucking care. This dude man, it was a Mexican restaurant. And my mom told me that once a lady came in asking for caldo de res, beef soup. But they didn't have any more meat, at least none that we used for that dish. They were about to let the lady know when the owner stepped up and told the lady that her food would be right out. The server and my mom were both confused as to what she was going to do. Well, this lady goes and literally digs through the fucking trash and pulls out some beef, some still with bone. She then ran it through water, cooked it, and served it to that poor lady. My mom says the lady was even sucking the bone, and she almost felt sick watching. My mom quit the job soon after. And they just stood there watching her eat. Yeah, I got something for you. And then they ran to the bag and was like, oh shit, it's a possum. Get that possum. You got the bat? You got the possum bat? Yeah, I ain't washed it off, though. It's fine.
Possum stew.
I got that possum bat that I haven't washed off since the last time.
I don't know.
Why didn't I flush when I came in here? And it asked my mom again about it. And here's what she said. The bone meat was not raw. It was leftover from people who had ordered the same thing. They had almost ran out of that soup. All the meat was gone, so they thought they would not serve anymore, and the owner grabbed the bone/meat from the trash, rinsed it, and threw it in what was left of the soup. Heated it up for a bit and served it. Oh, fuck me. Some other guy says, what?
I don't know if you felt it, but I clenched at you when I heard that they were grabbing meat out of the trash.
I don't know what clenched at me means. Some years ago, I'm clenching at you. Some years ago, the health inspector in my city found that a number of the Asian type restaurants in one of the food courts were taking the meat that some customers left on their plates, rinsing it and reusing it. Unfortunately, we just have to take on trust that what happens behind the kitchen door in restaurants. Yeah, trust, nigga. Anyway, Man, you know how bad I want Chinese food again? That extra sauce really hit the spot. They really knew what they were doing when I was like, extra sauce, bitch. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting where I was going. I was going to say that this list is essentially just turning into some sort of like, how's your appetite now list. Number 15, not a health inspector. Going to be hearing this the whole fucking thread. But a Chinese buffet near me was closed because it got a 0 out of 5 in its inspection. I got food poisoning from there once. The staff just got up and left, locked the door, never went back. All the food was still out and everything. A week later, a man was walking his dog past this Chinese buffet and heard a loud buzzing noise. Looked through the window to see hundreds of thousands of flies that had taken over the building as their new home. It was so bad the Pizza Hut next door had to close too. Can you imagine?
God.
I'm walking my dog. Come on, Mr. Pork Chop, walking my... What the fuck? Oh, and then they're gonna eat me. Oh my God.
Someone had to open the door eventually.
God damn, get a flamethrower in there. That's what somebody says. I would just love fucking a building of flies. That'd be so cool. I would have to make a friend just to take them out there.
Do you think there's like...
And then subsequently lose
wait.
that friend that I just made. Come on.
Wait. But like, if you look in close enough, do you think you'd see a silhouette of a man? Maybe the king of the flies?
I'm really mad that you didn't say Lord of the Flies. Is that what you meant?
No, I wanted to piss you off.
You're an idiot, man. I'm just done with your shit, man. For real. Why did you King of the Flies? Listen, number 14, dude. Fuck. I've mentioned this one somewhere before. I can't even read properly now. Okay. Mentioned this one somewhere before on Reddit. Used to have a job working as an inspector for storage tanks at places like dairies and factories. Went to Cheesecake Factory once to test milk storage tank. It had just been cleaned and was being prepped to be filled with a tanker full of milk. I noticed the floor of the tank was covered in bleach. It turned out the floor manager couldn't be arsed to spend the time sucking out the rest of the cleaning fluid he used in the cleaning process, and as standard, just filled the tank with milk on top of dozens of a dozen gallons of bleach. His theory was that there was enough milk to dilute the bleach to acceptable consumption levels. I wrote a report and he was promptly fired. Nigga, y'all niggas drinking milk bleach? I mean, I drink bleach, but I'm trying to, you know what I mean? I'm trying to.
Down on the bleach consumption.
Oh, like a literal cheesecake factory. Oh.
That took you a while.
We thought it was like there's a place called Cheesecake Factory. You know that, right?
I know that.
Okay, but like I guess there's like other legit factories that make cheesecakes. This is like a cheesecake factory, not a cheese fake factory. You know what I'm talking about?
Factory.
You know, you gotta make to. Let me
What
say.
about cheese fake factory?
Cheese fake be faking. You know, I'm human before I eat you. Stripe, shut the fuck up before I eat you. Okay.
Wait, is there a cheesecake factory in Miami?
Actually, Stripes is the one who looks a lot like a reptile. So if anybody's gonna get AIDS, probably Kyle. You know, so she can, I don't know, a hybrid. You know, take my DNA and then try to. Oh, what a world we're living in. Number what is this? 14, 13.
Full of it.
Full of what? Full of it. Yeah, you're right. You're full of shit, man. 13. My dad was 1, and he is now retired. A health inspector, of course. Well, let's hear the violation, guys. Sorry, I'm like giving everybody like, okay, there we go. Of everything I ever said, 2 just jump out. Okay, you mean your dad. Of everything your dad ever said. He noted the trays at a Chinese restaurant weren't clean or warm. What? They weren't clean or warm? When he asked the employees, they acknowledged that the heating element had failed. The trays at a Chinese restaurant. He said that the heating element had failed, but there was still chemical backup. Somehow, though, it wasn't hitting the dishes. Then he saw a cockroach crawl out of the washer. Attempting to understand how the dishes were not getting rinsed, he found that it was backed up with the cockroaches. They were cleaning the trays. They closed for remodeling for 3 days, but it was really cleaning up in order to pass inspection before they were allowed to open again. At a similar restaurant, he asked about a pail on the floor filled with a green substance. It was the soup of the day, they told him. Dad asked what it was and was told it was scraps. The bucket was never emptied, it turns out. The scraps going in roughly equaled the soup going out. Oh my God. Which meant that there was stuff in there that had been there for weeks at room temperature on the floor. Dad had them dump it as he looked on. A bonus story was when he caught a guy smoking in the kitchen and exposed the cigarette behind his back with a handshake. Look, man, this is horrifying. Why is always Chinese restaurants? Oh, how you doing? Because you know what the scary part is? I bet you that the Chinese people have literally cleaned the shop a bit in anticipation of them showing up. And if they violated this bad when they came, when you've already done prep cleaning, you know what I mean? You know, that's what I'm saying.
Worst.
This is a maid coming to the house and your mom's like, oh shit, I better clean up because the maid's coming. You know what I mean? And you're like, nigga, why you gonna clean up when the maid's job is to come here and clean? But then the maid comes and she's finding some shit and she's like, damn, look at all this crazy ass shit. But she doesn't even know. Little does the maid know that they anticipatory potation cleaned. Okay? Potato Nation.
You're really proud of that one, that glance you gave me. Does things for me.
I'm really tired of Stripes, dude. Like, I wish Stripes were a man sometimes so I could get into fist fights with Stripes. Man, number 12 here. Obligatory link to this comment, which made me think at least twice about every restaurant I've been to. This better be good, brah. This better be good. Health inspectors of Reddit, what was the worst you ever saw at a restaurant? There's been a thread like this apparently 2 years ago. Well, we can repost every 2 years. These are personal stories that we're getting. Okay, so let's put on a voice for this guy's one. Hold on here. Health inspector here. Sorry, I'm not going to do that.
No, please do it.
I worked on the private side auditing 29 different chains in the US. I did a couple inspections a day for a little under 3 years. I have hundreds of stories. Let's hope it's not really hundreds, because I'd lose my shit. Anyway, number 1, I can smell roaches the second I walk into a building if they're present. They have a nutty, oily smell that is very distinctive if you're around them enough. That's a smell you never regret. Relevant story. I was in a popular buffet chain and couldn't find the roaches I smelled. I look everywhere. Called my buddy who was a pest control officer. He came in, grabbed a large shop vac, and said, move fast. He lifted off the back of the soft serve ice cream machine and they poured out like a waterfall all over the floor. He got them all cleaned up. Soft serve ice cream machines all leak, and typically they've not cleaned well. Hot, wet, and dark is the perfect place for an infestation. Oh, God. Number 2, people don't know how to wash and glove their hands. Relevant story. I can't tell you how many times I've seen cooks walk out of the bathroom with their gloves and aprons still on. That makes my blood boil. That's pretty funny. When you're handling your genitals with a glove on. It's okay, I got a glove on. Now let me give you some food. Do you want my genital food? It's good for you. You know, by the transitive property, Stripes. I touch my pee-pee, I touch your food. You eat the food, you eat my pee-pee. Number 3, people don't know how to properly cool a cooked product. Relevant story. I saw a 5-gallon Cambro of rice in a walk-in with no date. I asked how long it had been cooling, and they said, for several days. Knowing that the rice is incredibly difficult to cool, I asked them to dump it out on a clean table. The smell of death. Clostridium filled the air. That rice would have probably killed someone. What the fuck? Number 4, ice machines are never clean. Relevant story, 9 times out of 10, an ice machine has an active and pretty impressive slime mold in it. Just stick your head in and look up. Oh! Oh my god, no. I'm just thinking about every time I've ever been to a hotel and I've just like run out to get, ice from the ice machine. That nigga said just stick your head in and look up. Like, that's really scary. That's just like, next time I gotta do that, and I gotta record it with like horror music, like just like and I look up and I'm like, oh my god. It's all green on the roof.
You need to have some anxious
Maybe the mold will talk to me and be like, how's it going, buddy? You need some ice. 5, soda guns are typically not clean. Now, what is a soda gun, nigga? The gun that they used to like up the soda?
Yes.
So, okay. Relevant story. I can't tell you how many times I've pulled the cap off of a soda gun to see to see maggots crawling. What the fuck? To see maggots crawling around in the build-up? Think about the next time you order a Coke at your favorite Mexican restaurant. Maggots. Number 6. If you see a fruit fly in a restaurant, it's not because it's summer and everyone has them now. It's because the drains in the kitchen are not clean and the flies are breeding in the scum impacted in the drain. Bonus story, before my laptop dies. I was in a barbecue joint inside a casino. I think this may be making my stomach turn. Excuse me.
So you don't want more Chinese today?
My Chinese place is exempt from these health code violations because, they're in the middle of the spectrum. They ain't rich, they ain't poor, they gotta please people, okay?
They've also got a big hip lady running the cash register.
She's not big hip, she just had a baby, so she got a fat ass. It's not the end of the world. Someday you'll learn. No, you won't. You'll forever have that non-existent ass.
Believe in me.
Nah, man. Subscribers pray for Stripes no ass having ass. That no ass having ass. Anyway, needless to say, the flies were a problem. Wait, they told me that the place was an issue and that they had washed their hands of the problems, hoping that they were just to close shop. Oh boy. Hoping that they would just close shop. Why is my stomach like, oh god, this can't be affecting me. Nothing affects me. Needless to say, the flies were a problem, but the biggest concern was the prop table in the kitchen that had never been cleaned. It was a very large and stainless steel table, and the bottom of the tabletop was dripping with grease and fat from the barbecue. No clue how it got there. Maggots were crawling all over the underside of the table, and the smell was nothing I will ever forget. The place serves hundreds of people a day under gross incompetence. Well, fuck me. So that was that comment, a little drift away from the main thread.
I'm glad you remembered it wasn't the main thread.
A person responds, the ice machine thing is pretty common. I haven't seen a restaurant without it. Oh my god. Most owners refuse to pay to have the machine serviced regularly and don't have a consistent enough cleaning schedule for employees to keep it at bay. I've cleaned like 10 of them. Same goes for ice bins under the bar in dives. And the majority of restaurants that aren't chains. Corporate type places will often have internal audits and inspections to prevent them from... Boy, I did not know this shit about the ice, but naturally if you're storing ice somewhere, then above it, it's gonna be fucking,
What about the ice machines in the fridge?
That's not how it works. And I do clean my fridge, baby. You know what I'm talking about. You gotta think about the freezer being sealed.
Yeah.
For the most part. Whereas like when you have an ice machine or just an ice bucket, you have one area where it's super cold and like it's surrounded or enveloped in a warm area around it. So like, it's causing a reaction real quick. You get what I'm saying? But even so, with the freezer where it's sealed, it's just kind of slowing down that process. So it does need to be cleaned over time, but not anywhere as frequently as we would the monkeys and the prickle trims, flickling up the monkey balls.
I guess.
Should I get like an ice bucket? Is that something that I can put on the
But then it'll get moldy.
Ice bucket? Is that something that they sell? Oh yeah, this type of thing. But what the fuck would I do with this? Let's be real. Can you bring me some ice, please? And it's like I have a cooler. That's what I love. I've got like a cooler that I use like a grown man sippy cup, just in case anybody's interested. Rubbermaid cooler. No, where's the one that I have? This is the one that I have, kind of.
Wait, no.
No, it doesn't have like a little thing at the bottom for pouring juice. I wouldn't want that. But it does have the sippy thing at the top, and I use it like a big man sippy cup. Wait a minute. Big man. We should go back to that thing that I was reading. Jesus Christ.
Wait, you wanted to put an ice machine, I think, in your wish list.
No, I didn't. You're probably wanting that. Why are you trying to project your garbage onto the Kyle? An ice machine? Do you think that's something that crossed my mind that I would A, want, and B, think that they offer on Amazon Stripes?
What about a cleaning supplies for the health inspector comes for you?
What about a cleaning supplies? Shut the number 9, bro. Did food safety inspection at a large slaughterhouse for a while. We did our own inspections each shift, and the government inspector stopped by once a day too. Holy shit. One day I came around a corner, and one of the workers who was running service for the butchers had dropped a ham on the floor. So the proper way to handle this for him was to leave it there and call for a re-inspector to come pick it up, take it to carve off any contaminated bits, rinse it in boiling water. Now, it relatively often happened meat was dropped on the floor. It's just very, very hard to avoid when running a factory setting with human labor. So this was common. What was uncommon was what the guy did. First, he tried catching it as it fell, which would have been fine. No contact with any surface, and he could have just thrown it back in the tub it had fallen out of. He didn't catch it though, and it landed on the floor. Thinking that no one was watching, he tried to pick it up and dropped it again. He did this 3 times. Pick it up, drop it. Pick it up, drop it. Pick it up, drop it. So first and foremost, he's not supposed to be touching anything that's been on the floor. It cross-contaminates his hands, and he has nowhere to put the contaminated product anyway. He did this 3 times and dropped it 3 times. Freshly carved hams can be slippery when wearing vinyl gloves. He then, out of pure frustration and annoyance at the unwieldy ham, dropped down on all 4s and proceeded to pick up the raw, freshly cut 6-kilo ham by his teeth. Stood up, ham dangling from his choppers, and dropped it in the tub with around 600 kilograms of product, and drove off with the tub for processing. He was fired a few minutes after that. The entire tub of product discarded. 600 kilograms of ham. They got to throw it away because he cross-contaminated it. What a dumb bitch. He was fired minutes after that. There is a God, says somebody.
Wait, this is just reminding me of that song that you wouldn't let me show you because you've already seen it. The one where the woman just slaps ham around her body.
It's not even a song, really, you know. You can call that what you want to call it, Stripes. But the majority of the people watching that video were enjoying it with the sound off. Do you understand me? Do you understand that?
But I thought it was cute.
No, there's nothing cute about it. It's just a woman naked slapping things on her body. And people do not need sound to enjoy that. So you can call it a song all you want. She knows what that was about. She knew what she was doing. So if you're a big titty lady, you know, that wants to submit your resume to support me and not support me, but represent me as part of the Kyle channel is concerned. Let's take care of business. You know what I mean? Only you can prevent forest fires. But not fires in my pants, evidently. So, number 8. The dumpster needed to be moved 6 inches from the back exit of the bar. Otherwise, everything I inspected was up to standard. Bartender seemed sweaty all the time. Bathroom stalls could have used a little touch-up. Didn't get to spend much time in the basement. I became quite ditzy for some reason. They were given a passing grade. Is this a reference?
Oh.
Yeah, it's an Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference. Somebody gilded that. Oh, I like things that I recognize. Fuck you people. This is a serious thread and you people are in here tarnishing it with bullshit. Jeez. Number 8? No, 7. Not a health inspector, but I gotta love that. Someone in my city repainted their floor with non-slip paint and literally painted over a dead rat, sealing it in there. That is not okay. And to top it off, it was in the middle of the kitchen, not under a bench or anything similar. Well, there's oh my god, ew.
I mean,
not my job, you know what I mean? That's a Reddit. That's a subreddit. So let's get in there. Let's look at the top posts on the subreddit entitled "Not My Job." Security camera installed by a boss. Oh, he put it right behind the bar. You know what I mean? Not his job. You see what I'm saying? Just install the security camera. That's all he did. And he did it right. Supported the, no, I don't want the past week. I want of all time, baby. Do you understand? Look at this one. Sausage Squad. Okay. Wednesday, suicide party. Sausage Squad. It's not my job. You know what I'm talking about? God. They've been mowing for the past month. Look, if you got cones out there, then they just go mow around the cones. It's not his job. See what I'm talking about?
It's pretty good.
Restaurant logo here. Brilliant.
Ooh.
That is brilliant. Brilliant. That's what they told him to put there. Restaurant logo here. These were your instructions, not my job. What the hell is this? You press the button. Does it open a door?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it's not his job. Shit. You know what I'm talking about? Oh my god. The gold winner. Olympics rings. Yes. This is a clear description of what they wanted here. The little Olympic rings, the 5 rings, and they were just like, no, I'll just write what they wrote. Brilliant. And then you pay for that. You decide? What do you think was here? We'll never know. The image you were requesting does not exist or is no longer available. No. Man. Nice.
You'd have to sit on the side of it.
But you think that'd be comfortable with this bar right here, Stripes? You think that'd be comfortable?
Well, what if it was the last seat left?
Well, then I could probably like sit with my ass on this portion and my feet like down right here. Or I don't know. I'd have to sit like I'm sure a weeaboo would love to sit like that. You know what I mean? And be facing everybody else and then have his headset on. He's a Naruto character.
Like if it's cradling you, right?
Man, look, number 6 here. Not a health inspector, but it's like, what? Is that all right? Not a health inspector, but jeez, it's everywhere. I was a dishwasher at a local restaurant, and for my first job, I was 16 years old. One night, we were cleaning up after closing as usual, and I uncorked my sink just as we wrapped up and left to do something else. As I stepped away, the waitress said, "Your sink's leaking." Interesting. I turned to find brown sludge pouring out of the bottom of the sink. Not just that, but also the sink in the food prep area. The whole kitchen flooded with that, and I soon discovered it was sewage. Complete with poopy bits and toilet paper. It rose up so high I literally was ankle deep in shit. Nigga, get the fuck out. Get out. When you're just like, what, like, how high does poop need to get before it hits your hits your nostrils? I don't think. Look, I hate to break my composure here, but I think if I were somewhere and something that I recognize to be shit started coming out, I would literally just run. It'd have to be my own house for me to be like trying to contain it or something, you know what I mean? But what can you do? Well, you know, are there like poop regulations?
I think you'd run out of your house too.
Nah, dude, I should make a separate video on like what to do if poop starts shooting up out of your own toilet and you're trying to like, well, how can you stop the poop? Now, look, if you're ever in a situation, that's a great video. I'm gonna make that video. Don't even worry about it. Let's continue here. I turned around. What?
You need visuals?
No, I need visuals. Why? Because you're gonna draw poop and a person reacting to poop, just like, oh my god, what do I do? And then they just switch and they're like, but I actually remember learning from Kyle the simple.
I want to draw a character in the Fallout style.
Why that crossover? Why Fallout in a poop?
Because it's a PSA.
The waitress bailed and called her ex-boyfriend. The cooks climbed like Spider-Man out of the kitchen, and my manager locked herself in her office. I stood alone, 16 years old, working at my first job and ankle deep in poop with a squeegee in my hand. I mopped that kitchen until past midnight. Why was it your job? In whose description is it in to clean poop? You're a dishwasher, dude. When I got home, I walked in like I'd been blasted by napalm. The next morning, my boss called me in early. The damn restaurant opened the next day and served food like there wasn't poop everywhere. When I showed up, there was still solid poop in the drains. Solid poop. Solid poop. Ooh, solid fecal matter. Fecal lives matter. You like that, Stripes? Fecal lives matter. Oh boy. I quit that job soon after and didn't return for a long time. When I finally did pass by the place, it was closed for health violations. I wonder why. Somebody else responds, for future reference, you are not required to clean up human excrement for any job. That's what I'm saying, baby. That's what Kyle is saying. Somebody would have to roll in there and be all like, Kyle, I offer you $20,000 to clean up this poop. And I'd be like, I'll clean it up for you, boss. Yabba dub dub da. You know what I'm talking about? Unless training in biohazard disposal, you legally can refuse to clean it, and the employer can't do anything about it. Not to say that they won't find any reason to fire you later on. Yeah, because they're jerks, and they'll hold a grudge against you, and then try to, they'll find another reason. But I think it would be worth it for not mopping up shit. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. For the people who are asking, you are covered by the OSHA when it comes to fecal matter. Ooh, I was just talking about that fecal matter in the heat of the night. Know your rights, dudes. Shit that comes out of people's ass, literal shit that comes out of people's ass, is not something that you need to be handling because it's not sanitary. And I can understand being in a kitchen, in the midst of raw food while it is being prepared or something, but come on, man, this is next level shit.
How's your appetite holding up?
Man, I'm hungry as a motherfucker because I'm ready to turn some stuff into shit, if you know what I mean, and see if maybe it can find its way into a kitchen for some 16-year-old bitch to be standing there ankle deep in shit with a squeegee about to clean it because he doesn't know his rights. You know what he needed to have been?
What?
The son or daughter of Hillary Rodham Clinton. Because then, everybody would have got fired, Stripes. And they would have been look, we're not going to go there.
I think Obama's daughter has a job at a restaurant.
And so it is, just like you said it would be. Somebody's going to recognize that song and be all like, oh my God, I really like that song. I can't take my eyes off of you. Somebody's listening to this list for the first time, having never been to this channel, and they're just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Anyway, Number whatever this is, I don't care. Welcome to the Kyle channel. When I went to culinary school, one of the professors made this statement. If you want to know how to clean a restaurant's kitchen... Wait. If you want to know how clean a restaurant's kitchen is, go to the bathroom first before you are seated. If the bathroom is dirty, there is a good chance the kitchen is in the same condition. And then he did that thing where like he puts both of his hands on the inside of the breasts of his jacket, like he's just so proud. Yeah, it's really starting to come down outside, and I wanted to go walking to catch more Pokemon. I'm a ghastly hunter now, a real ghost Pokemon hunter. I'm getting some weird comments on YouTube videos right now.
That's some good advice, though.
I mean, somebody says, this is what I check when I enter dives. It's a hell of a lot harder to clean a kitchen than a restroom. If you can't do that, you can be damn sure that they don't give a fuck about the difficult stuff. Wow. Well, here's another one. Not a health inspector, but, I gotta love that, I worked in a restaurant where the managers were good friends with mine. Oh, no, worked in a restaurant where the managers were good friends with one. Oh, with a health inspector. The coffee and ice cream shop next door was shut down out of nowhere, and we were all shocked because they were pretty busy. Health inspector came in one day and the manager asked why it was shut down. Health inspector proceeded to tell the manager that he walked in unannounced early one morning before the shop opened, only to find the owner jerking off behind the counter by the ice cream. The owner. You fucking like that ice cream. You like that, you fucking ice cream. The hope the owner won't spell spies next. Want to try that again, Kyle? Hope the owner won't sell pies next. Get it? Get your cream pies here. Here's a YouTube video. Somebody says I'm not clicking this. It's a YouTube video though. It can't be not. Oh my god, it's another Always Sunny and freaking. I'm just done. I don't watch that show for anybody who's interested. That show, I don't watch that. I don't watch Game of Thrones. What's the other thing that I stay away from? Homestuck? League of Legends? There's another show though that I'm just not gonna watch. Probably Walking Dead, I guess.
I think you have a passing interest for it.
I did watch the first season of Walking Dead when Shawshank Redemption guy was there. He's amazing. Not a health inspector, but I must have read that already. Please God. Please God. My stepmother is the lead health inspector for a decent-sized suburban town. While I have never asked what the worst thing she has witnessed as part of her job was, I do know of one instance that was pretty gross. A truck full of lobsters was traveling down the highway and crashed. The police came and eventually they towed the truck. As a board of health inspector...
My stepmother.
As a board of health inspector, my stepmother was consulted to see? Nigga, that don't make no damn sense, so don't hit me with it. They wrote it like this. As a board of health inspector, my stepmother was consulted to see if any of the lobsters were viable, and she told them no. What do you mean viable? Like some of them landed on top of the pile or something? Oh, this one's fine though. She told them no. What?
Have you seen this video of just like a truck full of baby chickens crashing and then they're just walking all over the place?
Stripes, ladies and gentlemen. The load is a total loss.
Lobsters be walking around like that too.
Oh my god. Does it say live lobsters, Stripes?
Why do you gotta ruin my mental image?
The load is a total loss since they were literally lobsters scattered across the highway covered in dirt, sand, etc. Fast forward 24 hours and one of the restaurants in town ran a special. Twin lobsters for $19.99. Apparently, the owner of the towing company knew the restaurant owner pretty well, so they made a deal whereby the restaurant would pay a very discounted price for road lobsters. The restaurant would turn around and illegally sell the lobsters to unsuspecting customers or sell them out of the truck behind the restaurant. I'm not sure what the repercussions were, but I think they were shut down for like a week. They closed shortly thereafter, and now there's a new restaurant there. The towing company lost their contract to tow vehicles, semi-trucks, with the town and state. Good for them. It's crazy that they didn't think the inspector would figure it out. This is their job. mysteriously cheap lobster after a huge highway crash involving lobsters. Yeah. It's like a TV show. It's like a sitcom. Wait a minute. And then you play the Seinfeld theme. My friend was inspecting a restaurant, walked out the back to find a man stirring a huge pot of curry with his arm. No spoon or anything. Just his hairy elbows in curry. Oh, that's how we stir it. What the I'd be more worried about how cold the curry is that he was able to stick his arm in it.
I wanted to know. Shouldn't that hurt?
Most people in the food industry have an insane intolerance to heat.
Oh.
I've not worked in a commercial kitchen for some time, and I can still pick up a pan out of the oven with my fingertips for a brief period of time. Well,
I guess that's how callus is formed.
California. You like that?
California.
California.
Yeah, callus is on your thumb.
Callus on my thumbs. That's good. You don't like that? That's good. You shut up. You shut up. Finally, something I can comment on. Here comes this guy. My uncle is a health inspector in rural Australia. He got several complaints about fish and chips in a shop in a small town in Victoria, with reports of it being a bit grotty. Grotty? Grody. Come on now. And people getting chunks on their what? People getting chunks of hair in their hot chips? Come on now. So he rocks up one day unannounced on a blazing hot day in the middle of the summer, and the owner greets him. What? And shows him around wearing a white singlet top with sweat patches under the arms, short shorts, and no shoes. I bet you that man has hairy legs. He's wearing no shoes. That's a big deal, though.
Who's that guy from Aqua Teen Force? I want to
Carl. But Carl wears flip-flops at the very least.
No.
This guy's body was covered in hair, not just on his arms and chest, but his back and neck were like a werewolf. Clearly, this must be the source of the hair in the chips. My uncle decides to make a tactful comment about wearing appropriate clothes when working, so as to protect against hot oil burns. After seeing the property and giving a few basic suggestions, the only other thing he notices is that it needs immediate attention to the deep fryer. The oil is old and filthy, and likely full of this guy's hair, so he orders the bloke to drain it out right then and there. The owner does so, and at the bottom of the oil vat is a dead, deep-fried, crispy cat stripes. A feline, baby. A cat got in the deep fryer. And you thought that this hairy man was the source of all of this hair. It was actually a meow. They're eating cat in their fish and chips. You know what I mean? How ironic is it that the oil that they were using for fish and chips actually attracted a cat? Okay. Kitty got his fish in the end, right? You know what they say about deep fryers and curiosity. Doesn't even make sense.
I'm so sick of you.
Look, man, one day I'm gonna find a way to be as annoying to you as you are to me, if possible. If possible. After seeing the proper way, I read that already, right? Totally unfazed, the owner simply said, "Oh, that's where my cat went." Okay.
It's like a bad comedy sketch, all of this.
And turns out a few months previously, the shop was having a rodent problem, so the owner brought in a cat to catch them. He thought the cat escaped overnight and ran away. Nope. Looks like little Fluffy drowned in the deep frying oil. And Mr. Chippy has been frying him up over and over and over ever since. The clumps of hair locals were complaining about weren't from the half-man, half-wolf owner, but the fur and flesh stripes, deep-fried cat of a dead cat. This has got to be the winner of this thread. There's two better ones, apparently.
Can we stop here?
Somebody said I screamed a little internally. What do you want? Why you want to stop? To preserve your, going out and eating places in the hopes that the kitchen is sanitary?
Because I actually think this is the best ones, and I want to leave on a high note.
No, man, we got to leave on a low note. That's the point of Reddit. The last one's going to be crap.
Are going to be disappointing.
Look, people, this is this idiot's cake day, so people are upvoting him. Okay?
My time to shine.
My stepdad used to be a baker in an authentic recreation of an 18th century new French fortress. Why did I know I should read this like some kind of jerk? because they sell bread to the public. The health inspector came by, and she was ripping into my stepdad for violations like stonework walls and doorless entranceways, all the lack of the mosquito zapper. He pointed out that they were following the highest standard rates, except for the things that you would destroy in the authenticity of the 18th century bakery, and the health inspector relented and agreed to give him a pass after verifying the food storage area was secure. They went to the shed, which was a doorless building attached to a bakery, and as the health inspector went in there, she happened to... As the health inspector went in, there happened to be an escaped cow licking at the loaves. An escaped cow.
An escaped cow.
An escaped cow. My stepdad could only say, honestly, this has never happened. They passed the health inspection. Well, the cow did escape. You know?
Whose cow was it?
Whose cow was it? Asking the serious questions. You think anybody cares in the comments? Oh, actually, Poem for a Sprog has riddled themselves horny inside this post. Being gilded 6 times, they write, my name is Cow. And when it's night, or when the moon is shining bright, oh my lord. And all the men have gone to bed, I stay up late, I lick the bread.
I love it.
Somebody says, I'm witnessing the magic right now, folks, and let me tell you, the yeast is rising. The yeast is rising. You know, why does it seem like it would fit the
It's a good children's book.
Why does it sound like it would fit that, you know, the clap clap, like my name is Cow, clap clap, and when it's night, clap clap, or when the moon, clap clap, is shining bright, and all the men have gone to bed, I stay up late, I lick the bread. What? Why is it spelled all stupid like they do when the cats are talking? Look, man, I think this is the only one that's got up this high. The only reason this... Yeah, I know. The only reason it got up this high is I think because of the madness of a cow licking bread. You know?
I thought it was going to be a story about the witch health inspector ruining this kid's livelihood.
Look, man, he should put a door on the... It looked like they went to the back.
Yeah, so the cow doesn't get in.
No, but look, there was a shed back there, which was a doorless building attached to the back, you know. Get it a door. Get these places a door. You're going to have cows wandering around licking bread.
I guess the cow is the least of your problems, to be honest. What about bugs?
Yeah, what about bugs? You got the damn, oh, it's 18th century, you know? You want to get some plague? It's authentic. My favorite Chinese restaurant got shut down. My ex-wife worked for the city, and I asked her what was the deal. She said the health inspectors found something leaking from the ceiling. They lifted the ceiling tile and shined a flashlight and saw multiple eyes staring back at them. It was chickens. Well, hey, you've come to the right place, right. Chickens. It's a kitchen. They were raising chickens in the ceiling. What? They were raising them? And the chicken shit was dripping into the food that I had been eating at least once a week. Chicken shit drip. That's some good sauce, you know? You guys got that chicken shit? My dad worked pest control, and after working that job, he no longer eats Chinese food. He said that nearly every Chinese restaurant he works at, it was disgusting and crawling with roaches, but the one that took the cake was when he had to strip down the kitchen after a ceiling tile broke and roaches fell into his coveralls. Maybe it's worth it.
I'm sure they get paid well.
Maybe it's worth it. So that was that one, man. You know, we've been, I guess, not making lists lately. And hey, look, we actually got Chinese food last night, and there was a fortune in it. I'm going to read the fortune for you guys right now. The fortune reads, the person who removes a mountain can start the cleanup too. And now I'm going to Google that. The person who removes a mountain can start the cleanup too. Because I don't know what the hell that means. The person who removes a mountain can start the cleanup too means that a person must take responsibility for the small results of big actions. I guess so it's like a literal, like, if I move the mountain wherever I move it, there's going to be problems.
In a very brief remarks,
you know what I mean?
Tonight, Hillary Clinton.
Why is Trump playing?
That's good.
You know what I mean? These websites have lost their damn minds. Chacha.com, that's where we just were. But look, here's why in my brain I'm thinking there's not going to be any cleanup, okay? If I'm moving a mountain, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to drop it on something, okay? If anywhere needs to be cleaned up, right? It's wherever I drop the mountain on top of. But if the mountain's on top of it, what's there to clean up? Do you know what I'm saying?
I remember I opened that fortune last night and just wanted to know. I thought you'd know. Look,
I couldn't put it together because it didn't make any sense to me. Now here's how I can make sense of it. If I'm moving a mountain and I'm actually pushing the mountain and leaving a wake of destruction, like in my path, maybe I split a house or something. You know what I mean? Like I take half the house in my way. Then I got to start cleaning it up. But I'm thinking of like me scooping the mountain up and then dropping it over somewhere, perhaps where there's no people. If I could move a mountain, why would I, devastate people? There's you want to have a town?
You can justify it by saying this is the cleansing. This is the cleansing.
I don't care. I don't care for that fortune, all right? Because, a fortune cookie, and then they say something like that in there. Look, guys, maybe I should put fortune cookies on the wish list.
Oh, do you think they have, like, an industrial-sized tub of fortune cookies?
Look, would that make me a hit with the ladies? You're a lady. Tell me.
Of course. I would pop those every day.
100 individually wrapped traditional fortune cookies. This is a 350 count box.
But how do you know they have fortunes in there?
because it says fortune cookie on their stripes.
Well, maybe you have to put them in yourself.
Oh no. Oh, okay. Good, Stripes. That's sanitary. Hey, we'll send you the fortune cookies, but you gotta put your own fortunes in there. All right, man. That would actually go well with this list. Is that what you were going for, Stripes? No, it isn't. Don't give Stripes more credit that she deserves. What is this? $5? That seems pretty great for 100 of them. How am I going to go through 100? So look, we legitimately found something to put on the wish list for once.
No, you need to add multiple.
What must you think of me now? Is the question I'm going to ask.
One person's going to buy it out immediately, so you need to.
No, they're not. I can't even save it. It won't let me save my amazingly hilarious comment. Maybe I got to spruce it up a little bit. Hitler did nothing wrong. Can I save it now? So look, we're gonna save the comment, baby. We're gonna save the comment. I don't care what you want. Oh, you did save it.
With Hitler wrong.
Yeah, Hitler did nothing wrong. Hitler did not. Okay, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this list. And if you didn't, don't lie. You know you.
Wait, I demand you add multiple more fortune cookie packs.
Multiple more fortune cookie packs. Why? It should be glad we can only found a $5 one from Alex and Sophia's shop. Let's hope that the conditions there are sanitary and they're not violating any health code monkey balls. They actually got these from a truck that fell off, on the highway. And there's fortune cookies everywhere and they're trying to sell them at a discount on Amazon. The health inspector will never catch that. We should find another one of these to do. I'll tell you what sucks is that we really want to read a creepy story one, but the mods have gone, lost their minds as usual and tried to confine all the Halloween posts to one mega thread. And that's how you utterly ruin fun on a subreddit. But I guess when you reach the point where you have a little bit of authority, you lose your mind and lose touch with the common man. So it would be far beyond them to understand any and everything of what people might actually like. Tasty rice, huh? I guess I should finish that one Reddit collection because everybody's asking for the ending to that story, even though the ending was bad. Here's a little bit of I want to say just like a side note to the last Reddit collection that I read. This is probably the type of shit that I should talk about in a stream, but just to say it, the guy who wrote that story in the last Reddit collection, he held the ending of the story hostage. And he was basically like, people were like, what do you mean there's no more to it? I like the story as it is. I like the story as it is, even though it ends in a very ridiculous way. That makes you question, okay, if this is real, then what happened after? Because the guy would need to have escaped. And if it's not, it's totally fiction, if it's ending like this. The guy held the end of the story hostage and was like, hey, if I get this amount of attention, I'll write the rest. And then he did get that amount of attention, or should I say karma, which is fake internet points, right? They gave him the karma. He He wrote an ending to the story. Everybody said, you know, the story was so good until you got lazy and you killed all your characters off. So then he did the same thing he did before, and he said, hey, if you give me a certain amount of karma, I'll write a new ending. And they gave it to him, and then he wrote a new ending that I guess satisfied everybody, right? But like, listen to me. Let's say that the original post got like 5,000, upvotes. The second ending got probably like 2,000, and then the third one is like in the hundreds, because like that's how dwindling the interest of people on mass got, that up their butts. So I don't want to read something that's kind of like boring, but it's up to you guys, man. If you want it that bad, let me know. How many people do you think are going to make it to the end of this video? And how many people you think are watching this video with anything other than the intention of going to sleep?
I think there is at least an attentive crowd of 80 people still listening to you.
And then I'd like to take this time to sing, it's a good song to sing. Huh? What's it? Come on, give me a good one.
Lucky Ladybug.
No, that's so weird.
Well, how about Highwayman?
Is that your phone?
No.
Yeah, your phone's ringing. Look, let's end this video. I'll call you guys later. Talk to you guys later. Bye.